Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome to my channel. As you can see, and also from the title, this is not going to be a cleaning video. I wanted to kind of give you a little chat with me, a little get to know me in this part of my life, because the next cleaning videos that I'm going to start uploading are going to look completely different, or I'm going to be looking completely different. So we're going to be focusing on Hyperemesis or Hyperemesis or Hyperemesis, however you pronounce it. That is what we're going to be focusing on. It is a condition that happens to pregnant women, and I was actually looking for a video that I could try to find someone to relate with this, and I couldn't quite find what I was really looking for. So I thought I'd make one myself. So if you're interested and you want to find out about this condition, please stay tuned. So as I mentioned before and in the title, this video is going to be me talking about my experience with hyperemesis. Like I said, the pronunciation it's a long word, but anyway, however you pronounce it is fine. I think I pronounce it Hyperemesis. That's how my doctor pronounced it, because I was calling it Hyperemesis and she like slapped me. I was like, Hyperemesis. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I do want to let you guys know that in no way, shape, or form am I a doctor or an ODG. So please, if you are going through this, please consult your doctor for any medical advice. I am just here to talk about my experience and give you guys a few tips and tricks on how I got through the beginning stages and how I'm getting through it as I continue through my pregnancy. So the first thing is, what is hyperemesis? What is it? So I actually just went on Google, and there was like a ton of definitions of what it is, and I found they were all like the same definition, but some of them had like really high educated like verbiage, and then other versions of it was just like real down to earth, easy to understand. So this is what I got. I just wrote it on a little index card, so I'm just going to read the definition off to you. So it says, it is a condition characterized by severe nausea, vomiting, weight loss, and electrolyte disturbance. Mild cases are treated with dietary changes, rest, and antacids. More severe cases often require a stay in the hospital so that the mother can receive fluid and nutrition through an intravenous vein. So that is the definition of what it is. But I did say that I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience, and I just jotted down a couple of questions that I'm going to answer for you guys. So the first question I have is, how often was I sick? Or TMI, how often did I throw up? In a nutshell, a lot. And that's just, I think overall pregnancy, you do that. Like pregnancy, you do throw up. But with hyperemesis, it is an abnormal amount of throwing up. So I would say about like 7 to 10 minutes, I was throwing up. And in my first trimester, it was really bad. And then in my second trimester, I was always told that like, oh, by the time you're 19 weeks, you should be good. I was even told by the time that you're like 15 weeks, you should be good. But I wasn't. In my case, with my daughter, I did not stop throwing up until I was about 31, 32 weeks pregnant. And now being pregnant again, I am 25 weeks pregnant currently, and I threw up this morning. So it's not something that I am like still throwing up every 7 to 10 minutes. I have like a lot of days now where I go by and I don't throw up. But what it is having that empty stomach, having that hunger pain that your stomach is asking for, and because there's nothing in it, it actually triggers the vomiting. And so that's why the first trimester is really hard, because you're trying to eat but you can't keep anything down, and then your stomach your stomach acids are like, hey, we need something to eat, like we need something to digest, to process. And because you don't have anything, you just end up throwing up just the really gross stuff in your stomach lining, and it's just completely disgusting. So the next question is, Did I lose weight? Yes. With my daughter in my first trimester, I lost 30 pounds. So when I got pregnant, I was about 160, and then by the time I was into my second trimester, I was 130, and I actually didn't start gaining weight until the tail end of my second trimester and on into my third trimester. So with this pregnancy, I did lose weight. I didn't lose it as drastically as I did when I was with her, but I did lose weight, and now that I'm kind of going into the end of my second trimester, I'm able to eat more. I'm able to have larger portions, because before I was eating like really tiny portions, a lot of bland food and things like that. But now I feel like my weight is, coming back up, and I'm getting like just, pregnancy puffiness and chunkiness and swollenness that comes with pregnancy, now that I'm kind of going through my second trimester and into my third trimester. So yes, I did lose weight. Did I have to go to the hospital? Yes, on both occasions. My daughter, I went to the hospital twice. With her, I went to just the emergency room. I want to get this right. I went to the emergency room, I think, twice with my daughter, because it was just like so early in the morning. I had been throwing up for days at this time, and we didn't even really know about hyperemesis with her. Like, it wasn't until my next doctor's visit that they saw that I had been going to the emergency room to get fluids, and they were like, okay, we need to talk about this, and this could be what you're going through, this could be what you have. But when I was there, I did get an IV, I had some fluids, and just, I got like kind of a list of things they were telling me to do to kind of help me stay hydrated, and if this were to happen again, then yes, I would have to go back to the hospital, and I did. And with this pregnancy, I actually went to the hospital again twice, but unfortunately it was way worse. I got very sick, and it was to the point where I was actually at one of my doctor's office visits, and I was trying to get a sonogram. I think I was like 6 to 8 weeks pregnant, and I passed out in my visit twice. So I was leaving my mom's house, getting in the car, and I was like so sick in the car, and then we got to the hospital, did the elevator ride, and to get to my actual doctor's office, like the actual office in the hospital, it's like 2 long hallways we have to go down, and I just completely collapsed in the hospital hallway. That is how much pain and the nausea and dizziness that I was in, and my husband was just like, he didn't know what to do, because I didn't want him to like pick me up, and I kept just like making these grunting noises, and it was just not great. And one of the ladies who happened to work in like the billing department in the doctor's office, she was like, "You're a pregnant mom," like obviously. And there's other like offices down the hallway, but she was like, "You're a pregnant mom," so she ran back, got a hospital wheelchair, and they came and got me and wheeled me into my office. Wheeled me into the office. So I'm coherent. I'm not like I remember the visit, but I don't remember passing out indefinitely twice. But they were asking me questions like, "What's my name? What's my birthday? Do I have insurance? Do I have this? Do I have that?" And I was in the chair, and they said I just like slumped forward, and they were like, "Oh my goodness!" And I kind of heard like muffling chatter and things like that. And then we had to go into the sono room, and they were trying to get me on the table. The girl is so sweet, and she was like, "I am super fast. I'm gonna get these measurements. I'm gonna check the baby's heartbeat." And then they said that while they were doing that, I just kind of like slumped again, and they're like, "Oh my god, this girl has passed out again." And again, that was due to just the previous days of just constant vomiting, not being able to hold water down, not being able to hold Pedialyte down, not being able to hold any crackers, oatmeal, mashed potatoes. So days and days of that. By the time I got to just my normal visit, I was wrecked. And so because of that, they actually just admitted me to the hospital. They got me a hospital room. I did not have to go to the emergency. And then from emergency you go to a room. They just skip that process, and I went straight to a room. And so there, still the same thing. I wasn't really responding to anything. It was very hard for them to find a vein because I was so dehydrated. But they did. I stayed for like 2.5 days, and then it was like a month. No, it was like 3-ish weeks later. I was back in the hospital, and they were like, "We know the drill. Don't send her to emergency. Admit her straight to a room. Let's get her some IVs." And I ended up staying like 2 days with that one too. So I did have to go to the hospital, unfortunately. The next question I have is, how did I and do I feel emotionally? This is a huge question. With my daughter being a first-time mom, and my husband at the time was working outside the home, I remember being very scared and feeling very alone and worried about, like mentally worried about my baby, and then physically not being able to do anything to help myself, let alone the baby inside of me. So even if you don't have hyperemesis, and it's just a normal pregnancy that it comes with the vomiting and everything like that, morning sickness or all-day sickness, whatever you want to call it, your hormones are just on a roller coaster. And I was talking to a friend, and she was like telling me, she was like, it's like all your emotions are trying to squeeze through a door at one time. So you have anger, frustration, you have happiness, you have sadness, you have anger, you have worry, you have stress. You have all these emotions, and they're trying to go through the door all at the same time. And sometimes what squeezes through is hysteria. Like, you're just hysterical. Like, nothing can calm you down. And you just don't even know why anything is going on. And then sometimes what slips through the door is anger. You are a cave woman mad. Like, you don't speak a language, you don't really have a lot of stuff going on in your brain, you're just crazy mad. And then sometimes what sneaks through the door is just utter happiness, and you're just like, oh my God, I have this life growing inside of me. I wish I felt better, I wish I could look better. And so that just comes with pregnancy. So I think hyperemesis can sometimes heighten those emotions that are like your sad emotions and your lonely emotions, and just your low points. I think because you're so sick, and you're just thinking, am I gonna get better? And is this how I go? Because, or whatever is going through your head. So I'm here to tell you that you can get through it. It is possible, but it is a process, and I went through that process very slowly, because it's literally an hour at a time. A lot of people say, oh, it's day by day. It's an hour at a time. That's all you have to do. I don't know if you can hear that noise. Water, playing with her toy, right at the door. Sorry about the noise. So my next question is, what was my support? Who did I lean on? This is a big one, because you are going to be going through so many emotions and things like that. Thankfully, my husband and my parents were there, who was a humongous support for me. I also had a lot of very close friends that were there for me, would send me amazing text messages like, hey, we're thinking about you, you're in our prayers, you can do this. But that was my biggest one, was my husband and my parents. And I mentioned before that my husband at the time was working outside the house, and so he wasn't there for me during the day. And when you have this condition, it's almost like you need a full-time nurse in the house, because you need someone who is going to make you eat, who is going to make you drink something, who is going to tell you like, hey, I know it's hard, but it's time to get up. You need to get in the shower, refresh yourself. You need to go ahead and clean, the bed, clean your sheets. Just, make things around you more comfortable because you're so gross. So at a certain point in my first trimester, I realized that he can't do it all. He can't go out and work and then come home to a wife who has been in bed all day with a bucket by the bed, and it's just the house is gross, I'm gross, everything was gross. And so we went ahead and decided that I needed to go to my mom's house, my parents' house. So I went there, and both my parents were there, and they were really able to help me through that process. And then there were times where like my husband would come and stay the night and help me and just be there emotionally for me to have that emotional support that I needed. So it's really important to have a support group. I highly recommend it. Finding family, finding friends, finding someone who you can just like legit be on the real with and say, hey, I need you to give me a bath, or hey, I need you to help me shower, or hey, I totally just like threw up on the bed, on the floor, I missed the bucket, and I can't pick it up, so I need you to pick it up. And it's totally gross, it's not a beautiful side of pregnancy, but having that group or that person is so important because your emotions are just going to be on a roller coaster. The last question that I thought about was, did I need to take medication? So again, I'm not a doctor, physician, OBG in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not really going to talk about like a lot about that side of it. I'm going to let you talk to your physician, your OBG. If in your case you do need to take medication, let them handle that. This is just my experience. So in my experience, in both situations, my daughter and with this pregnancy, I had to take medication. And it was something that, especially being a first-time mom, and even, now, it's something that always just kind of makes you feel like, man, I really thought I could do this. I really thought I could handle this. But as far as just, you staying well, if I stay well, the baby can stay well. And so yes, I did have to go on medication. Yes, I still have to take medication. And as the pregnancy goes along, my body has told me that like, oh, I don't need to take it as aggressive as I took it, before. So hopefully that answers that.